The World Bank is funding a $60 million digital connectivity project in Haiti. CARICOM strongly condemns the European Union's blacklisting strategy. A Guyanese citizen has filed a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against Caribbean Airlines. Belize shuts down its central prison due to COVID-19 concerns. Meanwhile, 1 in 2 Jamaican households have lost jobs during the COVID-19 pandemic. And Liat Airlines says it will soon take flight again.
This is the Caribbean Times News with Alisha Davis.
I'm Alisha Davis in New York. Thanks for being with us. We begin with our headline story. The World Bank is funding a $60 million digital connectivity project in Haiti. The Haiti Digital Acceleration Project, as it's called, aims to increase access to broadband services and build skills for digital literacy. According to the country director of the World Bank, the ongoing pandemic emphasized the important role that technology plays during and even after such a crisis. The World Bank will also provide equipment, software, and broadband to improve the government's efficiency and modernize service. And now to Antigua and Barbuda, hit by a 5.1 magnitude earthquake. 2 other islands, St. Kitts and Nevis and Guadeloupe, also felt the impact of the quake. Now, there were no immediate reports of damage or injuries. The Seismic Research Center said that the quake occurred just 14 minutes after midnight on Friday and was felt approximately 116 kilometers northwest of Antigua's capital, St. John. Now to CARICOM condemning blacklisting by the European Union. At issue is the recent inclusion of CARICOM member states on its blacklist of supposed non-cooperative tax jurisdictions. The Caribbean community says it shows the European Union's unwillingness to take into account progress made by the CARICOM states in complying with global standards. Bahamas, Barbados, and Trinidad and Tobago were included in the latest EU list of countries that were identified as high risk for money laundering and terrorist financing. According to the EU, those countries were identified as having deficiencies in their anti-money laundering and counter-financing of terrorism regimes, which they say pose a threat to the EU's financial system. CARICOM said in a statement that the blacklisting affects the economic prospects of the countries and CARICOM at large. The organization further noted that along with trying to recover from the economic impact of COVID-19, the countries are now being subjected to what they call the EU's discriminatory tactics. Well, coming up, Caribbean Airlines is being sued by a Guyanese national over a suitcase with cocaine. We will have the details coming up. Stay with us.
Since the coronavirus, global travel seems risky. But with Promo Caribbean, you don't have to worry. Our COVID-19 alerts feature, coupled with our comprehensive travel guide featuring over 20 countries, contains all you need to keep updated and safe during the pandemic. Whether it's Belize, Barbados, Haiti, or Guyana, our travel guide has all you need from safe places to eat, transport options, pharmacies, embassies, hotels, and Airbnbs. Not feeling well? You could take the COVID self-assessment test on our app. If you happen to be in the Caribbean or are looking to travel during these uncertain times, then Promo Caribbean is going to be your best friend. Today more than ever, you need to stay informed and stay safe. With Promo Caribbean, you don't have to worry. We've got you. Download the app from the App Store or Play Store now.
For the latest in Caribbean culture, news, sports, and entertainment, tune in to CaribVision. We keep you up to date on developments in your region. CaribVision. We broadcast across the Caribbean, in the New York tri-state area, Canada, and Europe. CaribVision, the eyes and ears of the Caribbean.
Welcome back to Caribbean Times News. And a Guyanese citizen filing a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against Caribbean Airlines. Back in 2018, the 50-year-old man, Simeon Wilson, traveled from Guyana to New York, where he was arrested and charged after 4 pounds of cocaine was discovered in his luggage. Well, the charges were later dropped after investigators said that the man's bag was tampered with while in the airline's custody. Wilson reportedly wants the airline to pay him for what he says is a lapse of security that allowed the cocaine to be placed in his bag. He says that although the charges were dropped, his name is still flagged in the system and he faces questions at U.S. airports. Well, Barbados is monitoring a dengue outbreak in the region. Countries including St. Lucia and St. Vincent and Grenadines have reported dengue outbreaks this year. According to Barbados' Ministry of Health and Wellness, 174 suspected cases of dengue were reported to the ministry through September of this year. That's an increase compared to the first 9 months of both 2018 and 2019. Barbados is telling citizens to step up surveillance for mosquito breeding sites. Trinidad and Tobago is making changes to its COVID-19 policies. The number of people allowed to congregate is being increased to 10, and the number of people allowed to attend funerals will be increased to 20. The Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, said that the adjustments should allow the country to step forward while still being wary of the spread of the virus. He did warn that if citizens don't follow the guidelines, they run the risk of possibly having another lockdown. Caribbean Airlines announced that with the relaxed measures, they will operate 6 flights daily between Trinidad and Tobago, helping to ease the economic hardship of the sister island. And when we come back, we have more fallout from the pandemic. Belize shuts down its central prison, and 1 in 2 Jamaican households have lost jobs. Those stories just ahead.
Mac Shack, New York, dedicated to providing a unique dining experience by offering classic, seasonal, and modern creative macaroni and cheese flavors. Find their locations at macshacknewyork.com. That's MACSHACKNY.com.
Welcome back to Caribbean Times News. And Belize shutting down its prison due to COVID-19 concerns. 5 new cases of the virus have been detected amongst prisoners and wardens, bringing the total number of cases at the country's only correctional facility to 21. There have been reports that a prison warden died on Thursday, although his cause of death has not been confirmed. Meanwhile, 1 in 2 Jamaican households have lost jobs thanks to the pandemic and the country's dependence on the tourism sector. The Inter-American Development Bank survey revealed that nearly 60% of low-income households have reported a job loss, while 25% of higher-income families also reported lost jobs. The survey further showed that about half of middle-class families experienced a job loss and/or a business closure. And some good news, Liat Airlines says that it will take flight again next month. Antigua's Minister of Information, Melford Nicholas, said that the airline is currently undergoing restructuring, but will likely resume operations in November. The airline had suspended operations after many Caribbean countries closed their airports in March because of the coronavirus. The governments of Barbados and St. Vincent and the Grenadines have agreed to sell their shares in the cash-strapped airline. Well, coming up on Caribbean Times News, Jamaicans are celebrating the historic run of Senator Kamala Harris, and the legendary Sandy Lane Luxury Resort will soon be opening its doors again. Those stories are just ahead. Stay with us.
Since the coronavirus, global travel seems risky, but with Promo Caribbean, you don't have to worry. Our COVID-19 alerts feature, coupled with our comprehensive travel guide featuring over 20 countries, contains all you need to keep updated and safe during the pandemic. Whether it's Belize, Barbados, Haiti, or Guyana, our travel guide has all you need from safe places to eat, transport options, pharmacies, embassies, hotels, and Airbnbs. Not feeling well? You could take the COVID self-assessment test on our app. If you happen to be in the Caribbean or are looking to travel during these uncertain times, then Promo Caribbean is going to be your best friend. Today more than ever, you need to stay informed and stay safe. With Promo Caribbean, you don't have to worry. We've got you. Download the app from the App Store or Play Store now.
Well, welcome back to Caribbean Times News. And Jamaicans in the U.S. and all around the world excited at the prospect of Kamala Harris running for Vice President of the United States. Senator Harris, whose father is Jamaican, is the first person with Caribbean heritage on a major party ticket in the U.S. The swing state of Florida is home to the most Jamaicans in the United States, with Florida having almost 1 million people with West Indian ancestry. According to the mayor of Lauderdale Lakes, who is Jamaican by birth, Senator Harris is the talk of the town. The U.S. election is now 22 days away. Well, now to the growing controversy over the arrest of Guyana's deputy chief elections officer. The police say that the officer, Roxanne Myers, was arrested on a charge of conspiracy to defraud as investigations into the country's March 2nd elections continue. According to Myers' attorney, Nigel Hughes, after she was brought in for questioning by police, she exercised her right to silence, and the police then said that they were going to keep her in custody for obstructing the course of justice. A statement from the police force said that the police did not detain Myers because she remained silent and called Hughes' statement a distortion of the truth. And finally, in our Caribbean Moment by Caribbean Journal, one of the most iconic places to stay in Barbados is set for a grand reopening. The island's legendary Sandy Lane Luxury Resort will begin welcoming back guests on November 1st. The reopening comes after the property went through an extensive restoration to all 115 bedrooms, suites, and penthouses, along with the hotel's villa. The property, which opened on Barbados's Platinum Coast in 1962, has long hosted luminaries from all around the world. Barbados recently updated its travel protocols, including most notably the requirement for proof of a negative PCR test within 72 hours of travel. And that does it for this edition of the Caribbean Times News. To all of our viewers across the Caribbean and around the world, thank you for watching and